hadn't been there, I don't know what would have happened.
French Revolution. It's a really important historical event, and a lot of people are going to be arguing that this is a historical event that is important because this is the moment when Europeans finally realized that monarchy is not the solution for their social problems. And people are going to be debating about this because at the end of the day we realize that there are some monarchy country that still exists, and I believe that they're actually quite successful and they're prosperous. That's what I want to say about this monarchy country. I'm gonna name it. It's Saudi Arabia. It's a very prosperous country, and you can argue with, they have the oil. It's an oil country. But how many countries in the world that has plenty of oil and can't be as prosperous as Saudi Arabia? So people can have a debate on this topic all day. But the thing is, at least for Europeans at the time, having a monarchy system, it's not the solution. But actually, what is important about French Revolution, it's not about that. It's about their realization that there is enlightenment, that their life can be better, that self-determination is really important. Freedom is important, and you have to take it at any cost. And that's what makes your life better, when you have the freedom, when you have the self-determination. And then it changed the euro. It motivated, it created a force from the bottom so they can reform themselves, and Europe, especially Western Europe, became what we know right now. It's impressive. Anyway, good for them. It's actually something that is not really related to our story, but anyway, it's still mentioned. It's still mentioned in the first part of the chapter. But anyway, I believe that they mentioned that because they want to know that because of this thought of freedom, people can learn more. And when people can learn more, they know the methods, they know how to observe things, and they know how to comprehend things, comprehend their observation, and they can know more by doing this. And the tool for us that we can use to comprehend our observation is basically statistics and math. So what we are doing right now, let's say that we have a daily light conversation with our friends, and some of us suddenly just mention about a survey. Well, it's actually math, and it's something that is a result of an observation and hypothesis and a lot of theory. And a lot of people believe that. We think that it's true, and we use that in our daily lives. It just shows you how important is that to have self-determination and to have a power to gather knowledge and information. And we can only do that if we have the freedom. If we don't live in oppressed government or in an oppressed country. But anyway, so I believe that no, it's not something that I believe. It's actually something that is mentioned in the book. So one of the first tool from math that is used quite widely, and it's actually quite modern, is something that we called as least square. And it's actually used a lot back in the day. Right now we have GPS, so we don't have to worry about that. We used a more modern way to navigate ourselves. But this is something that we didn't have back in the day, especially in 18th century or 17th century. We didn't have something like that. So they use something else. They use this one, a least square method. So it's used a lot in navigation. I don't know how they do that. Seriously, I don't know how they do that. It's not explained in the book. And it was mentioned that if you want to know more, well, you can read this book and that book. I don't know if I would do that. But anyway, so least square created correlation. And the correlation later on will be used for regression. That's it. So least square, correlation, regression. Simple, right? So there are two guys that are actually developing this theory, and they're actually developing that in quite the same time. But they're not working together. They're working independently. So the first guy is Adrien Marie Legendre, and he's French, so I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. And the second guy is Carl Gauss. So Carl Gauss, well, he's the genius, and he claimed that he already invented least square method even before Legendre, but he just think that it's too simple, so he just used that as a tool and he developed any other things. And then one day when he realized that Legendre claimed that he invented least square, he was mad. I don't know if he was mad. Yeah, maybe he was pissed off because he already invented that and he already used that all the time. And right now, there's another guy that is actually older than him and claimed that he invented that thing. So he was kind of pissed off at that time. So they're not getting along. It's not because they're coming from different country and there's some political tension between them. No, it's not something that happened to them. They're scientists. They're not politicians or emperor. It's not something that happened to them. But yeah, they have tension because they claim each other's work. That's basically it. They have a beef. But anyway, Carl Gauss, I don't know who said this, but someone said that he's actually the best mathematician ever. So Carl Gauss has a lot of recognition behind his name, but it's actually a completely different thing with Legendre. So there are not a lot of people that know him. He doesn't get enough recognition for his work, so it's kind of sad. And he only became famous after his death. And one of his recognition that he got is he got his name on Eiffel Tower. And we know that it's a sacred place. Well, it's not sacred. It's just a special place. So if you have your name written in that place, well, you're something special. So it's good to know when you know that someone like him get the recognition that he deserves. That's a good thing. Anyway, that's it.